ago, several smart New York shops for women began serving coffee and tea, and later in the day, cocktails, to fortify gentlemen shoppers during the Christmas season. Never before in the history of the United States had men been at ease in a women's specialty shop. The custom of drinking while buying has become an established ritual during the holy merchandising season. Many a man can now say bodice, or bust, or hips to a strange sales lady without a single tremor. Let's stop in at the Fifth Avenue shop at Gillespie and Webb and see what's going on.
We go down and make sense to the place where so big well. To the dear old Virginia bar we love so well.
I told Mr. Gillespie and Mr. Webb once, I told him 1,000 times, you can't mix merchandise and liquor. Oh dear, here come two more up the escalator. I'm gonna take 3 aspirin this time.
To the tables down at Macy's, to the place where Sophie dwells, to the dear old Bergdorf bar we love so well. Sing the husbands all assembled, with their glasses raised on high.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for, what are we looking for again, Bailey?
You're looking for a gold evening bag for your wife, for Nancy.
That's right. 2 evening bags.
No, just one. Nancy is your wife. My wife has a gold evening bag.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Nancy. Any wife of mine is a friend of ours.
I'll show you some gold evening bags, sir.
Oh, she forgot the drink.
I'll get him. I'll get him. Okay.
It's not going to be easy to get rid of these two gentlemen, I can tell.
Just
Can I interest you in one of these
keep 'em
bags,
coming.
sir?
They tried to hide McCrutchins on us. They moved it when we weren't looking, but we found it.
What's your name, sweetie?
Nancy?
Wait a minute. Nancy's my wife.
You know the difference between dry goods and wet goods?
No, I do not, sir.
You can tell dry goods by the way they feel, and you can tell wet goods by the way we feel.
Oh, the magic of our singing, of the stars we love so well. Isaac Foxes and the Queries and the rest of
There is no McQuarries anymore, gentlemen.
Oh, that's why we couldn't find it.
These are really lovely evening bags, sir.
Keep them coming.
Oh, you want them gift wrapped?
We'll get him gift wrapped. You just keep them coming. 2 more martinis.
I feel that you gentlemen have had enough evening bags.
You can't keep us from buying as many evening bags as we want under the present liquor laws.
Please let me gift wrap those bags for
I
you, sir.
tell you what, gift wrap 3 more, sight unseen.
It is not the policy of this store to gift wrap merchandise which the customer has not examined.
Hell with that. He wants to surprise himself when his wife opens it back till Christmas.
That's what Christmas is for. Surprise.
If you permit a suggestion, sir, a lady does not care for multiple gold evening bags.
We give some of them to the other ladies. We do know other ladies, and you must pry into our private lives.
Boo-coo, other ladies. Keep them coming.
May I suggest that you'll find exactly what you want at the 721 Club at Bonwit Tellers?
We've been to the 721 Club, and we've been to the Executive Club at 650 Avenue. And we've been to Macy's. But what's that place called down there, Bailey? The Garden of Eden?
It's called Adam for Eve. And Eve for Adam, and you for me, and me for you.
Sing a march song.
Right. And we shall circulate our lucre, while our lives in late shall last.
Since it's sad and be forgotten down at bed.
Oh, we gotta marry this hostess too.
And pass out and be forgotten down at best.
I beg you, gentlemen, not to sing. There's a place for that. Have you been to the Altman, sir?
I want to go to B. Arthur's. I want to buy some double Danish dinner napkins.
You're thinking of the Altman, sir. Let me tell you how you can get there.
Don't tell him what he's thinking. He's thinking of dimpled damsels, double damask dancing dresses. I want a double old fashioned. And leave off the dancing dresses.
You'll find just what you want at McCrutcheson, sir.
I do not have the pleasure of your acquaintance, and I wish you would return to your own table.
And we just came from the Hutchison, where my dear friend wanting a sheets and towels to last his descendants 300 years.
Where are they now? Oh, we left them in the cab.
There's not a cab in this city big enough to hold a 300 year supply of sheets and towels.
Then we'll get 2 cabs. Nancy, I'm seeing that have all these eating bags, and this one's for you, honey.
Keep them coming.
Nancy,
I'm not Nancy.
this is for you.
The bag is for your wife, sir.
Oh, she'll never know. The wife's always the last to know. You know why?
I'm sure I do not.
My psychiatrist approves it, that's why. There's always too much damn guilt in the world.
Guilt. Go. If it's guilty, we don't want it.
I'm afraid because I don't own a gold eating bag you haven't stopped, sir.
In that eventuality, I'm gonna get Nancy a pair match Dorman. Gift wrap, too. The ones at Bonnet Taylor's put up a fight, but there's too much damn guilt in the world. The ones I talked to her about are just regular old Dorman.
Do you know what you could use Paramatch Dorman for?
Bookends.
Bookends for what?
Does your wife want to say the Encyclopedia Britannica or the new Oxford English Dictionary?
Or the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
That's a charming evening bag. Where did you get it?
I don't know. We've been all over hell.
Here, I want you to have this.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Oh, keep it. What the hell? It's the Christmas season.
What happened to the floor show? I like a place's jumping. Anderson, what the hell is this thing?
It's the end of your tether, Bailey. I know the end of a massive tether when I see one. Young lady, what is this?
Isn't it perhaps the measurement of your wife's waist, sir?
My wife doesn't have a waist. Her maiden spring was matron sprung years ago.
Let's crash the women's department at
You ever been stiff at Haddon's?
No, I started off at walkovers and a shoestring.
We are poor little lambs that have gone astray.
Oh, Miss Westwater, please don't sing! Here comes Mr. Gillespie! There's a time for crying, and a time for singing, and this is the time for singing.
Where are you going?
We are going to spend the night at Ovington's.
But there isn't any Ovington. So by God, we'll build one.
Diligent shoppers off on a spree, reel in the bond with full lingerie.
World War XII, as everyone knows, caused the collapse of civilization. Cities, towns, and villages disappeared. Forests and groves were destroyed, as were all gardens and all works of art. Men, women, and children became lower than the lower animals. Disillusioned and discouraged, dogs abandoned their fallen masters. And emboldened by the pitiable condition of the former lords of the earth, rabbits settled on them. Books, paintings, music vanished, and humans sat around doing nothing for years and years. Even the few generals who were left couldn't remember what the last war had decided. And boys and girls grew up looking blankly at each other because love had disappeared. One day, a girl who had never seen a flower chanced to come upon the last one in the world. She tried to tell the other humans that the flower was dying, but the only one who paid any attention was a young man who was just wandering about. Together, the girl and the young man nurtured the flower, and it began to live again. One day, a bee visited the flower, and a hummingbird, and soon there were 2 flowers, and then 4 flowers, and then a great many flowers. And forests and groves began to flourish, and the girl began to pay attention to her looks. And the young man discovered that touching the girl was pleasurable, and love was reborn. Their children grew up strong and healthy, and learned how to run and laugh. Dogs came out of exile, and the young man discovered that by placing one stone on top of another, he could build a shelter. Soon everyone was building shelters, and cities and towns and villages sprang up. And song came back into the world, as did troubadours and jugglers and tie tailors and cobblers and poets and painters and sculptors and wheelwrights and soldiers and captains and lieutenants and generals and major generals and liberators. And people began to move, some to one place and some to another. And soon those who'd moved to the valley began to wish they had moved to the hills. And those who'd moved to the hills wished they had moved to the valleys. And the liberators, under the guidance of their God, set fire to that discontent. And eventually the world was at war again. But this time, the the destruction was so complete that nothing at all was left except one man